All right, good evening. I have 6:30. Mayor Tome here to call the Columbus Common Council regular meeting to order for Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. Pat, when you're ready, could you please take a roll call for us?
Gray.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Ryan.
Here.
Tylen.
Here.
Tome.
Here.
Traxler.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. If able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Agenda is approved. Correspondence and communications. I have two people signed up this evening. First one is Marcus Meyer. Marcus, if you'd like to come up to the podium. You know how to fire that up. Number 9. Please state your name and address.
Marcus Meyer, 230 Whitney Street. The reason I'm here tonight is, as you all know, Whitney Street's not a very popular street unless you're in the middle of summer. With the antique mall being right there, people are not paying attention to anything other than figuring out which entrance to use to get into the mall. On that street, we have 5 houses that contain 10 children under the age of 6 years old. I'm looking tonight to start a process to rezone that entire street to 10 miles an hour. I witnessed last week a 3-year-old almost get hit by a truck, pulled out, didn't see him. Thank God that the mother was right there, otherwise he would have been crushed. It's pretty important to me. Talk to every family on the block or on the street. It's time something happens. Andy had put through a request for me to have a slow down children at play sign put up. It's only getting worse. It's time we gotta do something that the PD can enforce. I spoke to Chief Weiner last week, and if they're going 25 miles an hour, you can't do anything about it. It's not zoned to anything lower than that, so it's time that we start a process to lower that speed limit. I think 10 miles an hour would be a perfect fit. That's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
All right, we also had Matt Shriver, staff member, signed up. Make a few comments.
Address?
You're good.
Okay. Well, as many of you noticed, in early June, the banners and the flowers have gone up in our downtown. It's, in my opinion, greatly improved the streetscape. And I just wanted to take a moment and come up here and recognize all those people who have put in a lot of hard work to make this project a reality. First, thank you to Bob and Janet Groh for their generous donation that made this project possible. Also, thank you to Liz Davis and CDDC for their donation for the for the baskets for the downtown. Also, thank you to Todd Fry for making and donating the bracket that support the flowering baskets in our downtown. Also, thank you to Kevin White from Country Sprayers. He has generously donated a sprayer for us to use this year so we can water the plants this summer. Thank you to all the artists who have submitted their paperwork, or their banners, or their artwork for the banner contest. Specifically, thank you Deborah Hafner, Mark Collier, Patty Wick, Michael Schultz, and Lydia Schultz. I can't say enough about the FFA. Glenda Crook and her students were wonderful to deal with. They did everything from designing the baskets and the 2 planters that are out in the downtown. They helped water them while they were in the greenhouse and take care of them, especially Amanda Dunbar and her mom Christy and Karina Larson watered them on the weekends to make sure they wouldn't be damaged. Also, thank you to students Will Kesnich, Garrett Bearwolf, Nick Schleicher, Raina Maria, Jordan Prosser and Kendall Hughes. Also, a big thank you goes out to our crews from Water and Light and DPW. Not only the crew that helped install them, but also the crew that made it possible and picked up the slack so they could go out and install. And they were out there probably a good 2 days installing. So Joe Hammer, Dave Koenig, Trevor Robichaud, Zach Fenner, Dalton Hilly, Jake Tanner, Troy Kehoe, Tim Hogg, Jenny Schultz, Zach Navin, Phil Kashub, Jake Baness, Ryan Weber, and Jeff Kuchnada. Also, a big thanks for the help from DPW for watering the flowers. Thankfully, so far, it's been fairly wet, I guess, so they haven't had to get out there too often. But, you know, we are expecting some warmer weathers coming up. Also, thank you to council for their support, and thank you for the Water and Light Commission for their support. I mean, I got blessings and numerous updates from both groups, so thank you to them. And then also thank you to everybody who participated on the task force, including Sarah Hanna, Rich Louie, Darvin Fry, Beth Riani, Trina Reed, Carolyn Fredericks, J.D. Milburn, Winfield McDonald, Paula Steiner, Becky Widener, Liz Davis, Rebecca Billy, Kasha Millard, J.T. Seshkowski, and Patrick Vandersanden, who all attended meetings over the course of the past year. So if I missed somebody, I didn't do it on purpose. I tried to have an extensive list of everybody who was involved, and you know, it was a great project, and the end result was better than I could have ever imagined when I started with. I really didn't know what to expect. So thank you for your time, and thank you to everybody who participated in this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for recognizing those individuals. All right, was there anyone else present this evening that didn't get a chance to sign up for citizen comment that wished to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have 2 items on the consent agenda. We have the council and committee of the whole minutes from June 14th, 2019, and we also have a street closing request for the Chamber of Commerce for the 4th of July firecracker run. Any questions on the consent agenda? Ed?
Yes, on the Committee of the Whole minutes of June 4th, all the references are to June 24th, and I think they need to be amended to June 25th.
Reference to the following meeting, you mean?
Correct.
Correct.
Item 7.
Because we changed the date.
8 and 10 and 13 have references to this meeting being held on June 24th, but it's the 25th. So it's a minor thing, but I think
All
we
right,
should
thank you.
keep track of it. And
Anything else? If there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda with the edit provided by Ed for the date correction on the minutes.
Also, move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On to new business number 1, consider and take action on adjustment to lease with Chamber of Commerce on the farmers market hours of operation.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to recuse myself from this.
Okay. Ed's going to abstain from the conversation. All right, there should have been an updated copy of this left at your desk this evening. I believe the main changes here were in Section 3 and Section 5, which states the time that it's that the Chamber of Commerce shall be allowed to hold farmers market between the hours of 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. on each Wednesday. And also Section 5, no consumers or customers shall park on the property between the hours of 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. on a day in which farmers market is scheduled. Were there any questions from the council on this? If there's no questions, I'll entertain any motion.
I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
When it says you can't park on the property, are we just the map that was previously provided, or are we talking about the entire city hall
That's a good
grounds?
question. I don't know if that was, did we have a map that was included with this agreement when it was first approved?
It was, yeah, the first 2 rows were segregated for the market. And in practice, there's been people parking on the other 2 rows.
So
Do we need to recognize that, or are you guys good the way it's listed?
How about putting the word designated on the designated property between the hours of 2 and 9 PM?
The
Under
agreement,
Section 5?
the agreement as currently drafted says the tax parcels 52 and 53 are the property. So basically it was the no parking in the whole area. If you want to change it so that it is, if you want to change paragraph 4, or 5, sorry, change paragraph 5 to the first 2 rows, you could certainly do that. It's a simple amendment.
I think we should do that.
Okay. Any further questions? Okay, we'll be looking for a motion to approve and update the agreement for the hours for the Chamber of Commerce with the noted change in Section 5, which would be to designate the property as the first 2 rows in the parking lot.
I guess I don't want to change the property of 52 and 53, but I just wanted to have a note at the number 5 to specify for where parking could happen.
The first 2 rows?
Yeah.
Well, the first 2 rows would not be permitted.
Would not be.
The other 2 rows, I believe, are permitted for city staff at 2 o'clock.
I just didn't want their confusion on the property just being a part of the parking lot. I want to kind of leave that part open.
I don't know if I understand.
Just looking at the tax parcel.
The tax parcels?
That-
Okay.
Make sure this matches up with this.
I don't have a tax parcel map with me, so I'm not sure what tax parcel 52 and 53 exactly mean.
I think it should be a simple amendment if we just amend it to say that no consumers or customers shall park in the first 2 rows, and then the rest of the property would remain the same and not be affected.
Yep. Okay, would someone like to make a motion to approve the agreement with the amendment to number 5 stating that no consumer or customer shall park on the parking lot property first 2 rows between the hours of 2 and 9 PM?
So moved.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve or amend the agreement with the Chamber of Commerce for the farmers market with the added amendment to define the prohibition on parking for those times. Any further discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, number 2. Consider and take action on task order 2019-03 for the filter screen project. This has been through the committee of the whole for a couple of meetings. I believe one of the intentions was to have it up for review at the council due to the agreement with the Village of Fall River. It looks like there has been some updated information in the packet here that Fall River has responded to that, and they have no concerns. So I think we're ready for approval for the task order. Ed, did you have a question?
I do. I have a question perhaps for Jason under the task order item 5. Items excluded, coordinate with the Village of Fall River's engineer in accordance with the city IGA. And just curious why that's excluded in a task order. It seems like something that would commonly happen, that you'd talk with each other.
Yeah, that's a great question. So when we originally wrote this task order, there was some discussion about the possible coordination that may exist. One of the issues is that we heard initially from Fall River that they have a screen installed at their lift station with 1/4-inch diameter openings or 1/4-inch openings to screen out material before they pump it here. And they were, I wouldn't say objectionable, but they were kind of concerned that they would be responsible for paying for the screen if they're already screening waste. So we originally had a coordination with Fall River in here because we thought that would be a fairly large component of the project, because we may have to go through negotiations, or, have additional meetings, or possibly even have attorneys involved to kind of work through if it was applicable or not, based on the amendments to the latest IGA. There's a letter in the packet here that the village basically acknowledges that this is a item that does apply to their funds, and they will be participating in their share of the cost. So there really is no objection. So at this point, we felt like there's really no coordination with Fall River at this point. We'll move forward, and certainly we'll make information available if they wish to review it. But we didn't feel like there was an extra step. Now, with that being said, if there is some general coordination or sending over plans, that's included in our process. I mean, we wouldn't certainly have a separate cost for that. We just don't want, if there turned out to be more meetings and negotiations and additional meetings with other engineers to discuss this, we just wanted to itemize that out and let the city know that that was excluded, but we certainly don't anticipate it based on the initial response from Fall River, so. Yep.
Any other questions for Jason while he's up? Trina?
Oh, not a question, just a comment. I really liked how the billing was itemized by the engineer and the engineer's level, and the hours. It was just really nice and easy to understand. Thank you.
Any other questions from the council on the task order? All right, if there are no further questions, I'll entertain any action from the council on task order 2019-03.
I'll make a motion to approve task order 2019-03 for the filter screen project.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve task order 2019-03 with Rupert Milkie on the amount of $69,938. Any discussion on the motion? If none, can we please take a roll call, Pat?
Johnson?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Tylen?
Aye.
Traxler?
Aye.
Gray?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Number 3, consider and take action on a phosphorus trading agreement with the town of Beloit. I know this was reviewed at the committee of the whole probably a month ago, and there's been some correspondence or some communication with the town of Beloit since then, and there's an update in the memo of your packet here. And there has been some adjustments made to the agreement that were suggested during that discussion, including a 5-year review and opt-out clause, in a 20-year agreement, then it would be a 5-year, every 5 years that could be considered. At this point, it's $55 per credit for a total of $60,500 in revenue annually. So, any questions from the council on this? Are you comfortable with the language in the agreement? This would actually be executing the agreement, then we're done negotiating at this point, Patrick?
On this one, yes.
Okay. Ed? Okay. If there's no questions, I'll entertain any action from the council then.
I'll move that we approve the agreement between the City of Columbus and the Town of Beloit related to phosphorus trading.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second to approve the phosphorus trading agreement with the Town of Beloit. And is any discussion on the motion? If none, can we please take a roll call, Pat?
Reed?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Tylen?
Aye.
Traxler?
Aye.
Gray?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you. On to number 4, consider and take action on alcohol license renewals for July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. We have a supplementary packet with all of the information we've been reviewing through this process. My understanding is all the concerns that were expressed at the last committee of the whole meeting have been addressed. So all of the licenses that are on the agenda this evening for approval have met the requirements per code. We are going to go through these licenses and approve them individually. So if you have questions when we get to those, please raise them at that time. First up, we have a Class A beer license for Landmark Services Cooperative doing business as Cenex Convenience Store of Columbus. Again, all concerns expressed for their application have been met. This is a renewal. If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Class A beer license for Landmark Services.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the Class A beer license for Landmark Services, Senex Convenience Store of Columbus. Any discussion on that? Can we do voice vote on these, Paul?
Sure.
Okay. And is there any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? License is approved. We'll move on to Class A liquor, the Painted Crate LLC, doing business as the Painted Crate. Are there any questions on this one? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the Painted Crate, Class A liquor.
Move to approve the Class A liquor license for the Painted Crate.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the Class A liquor license for the Painted Crate. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? License is approved. Move on to Class A beer and liquor. First one is for Chester Bandit Store. No concerns on that one. Unless there's any questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Class A beer and liquor for Chester Bandit Store.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the Class A beer and liquor for Chester Bandits Store. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. The next one is Dolgan Corp. LLC, doing business as Dollar General Store, number 10422. Again, this is a renewal. Everything's been met. Unless there's any questions or discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve for Dollar General Store.
Motion to approve Dollar General's Class A liquor and beer license.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the Class A beer and liquor for the Dollar General Store, 10422. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. The next one then is Quick Trip. Quick Trip Store number 808. Again, this is a renewal. Everything has been met. Unless there's any questions or discussion, I'll take a motion to approve Quick Trip number 808.
Make a motion to approve Quick Trip number 808, Class A beer and liquor renewal.
Motion and a second to approve Quick Trip for the Class A beer and liquor. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up is Ultramart Foods, doing business as Pick and Save, store number 6392. Any questions on that? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion.
I have a question.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Andy.
This, Pat, this is the new map? Okay.
They adjusted their previous premise description to match what was painted
Okay,
and moving the two stalls over.
thank you.
So did they move the stalls compared to the last when they applied? So the current map is what we're approving? Okay.
It matches.
What exists?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any further questions?
Well, in that we approved this already April 16th, do we have to reapprove it with the new map? All right, very good, thank you.
Yep. All right. If there are no further questions, I'll entertain any motion for Pick and Save for their Class A beer and liquor.
I'll move to approve Class A beer and liquor license for Pick and Save number 392.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the Class A beer and liquor for Pick and Save store number 6392. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And the last Class A beer and liquor would be for Walgreens, store number 10396. Unless there's any questions, I'll entertain any action from the council on that renewal.
Make a motion to approve Walgreens Class A beer and liquor license.
Motion is second to approve the Class A beer and liquor for Walgreens store number 10396. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? License is approved. On to Class B beer. We have one Columbus Transport Company, doing business as Kurth Brewery. Looks like everything has been met on there. Again, this is a renewal. Unless there's any questions, I'll entertain any motion from the council.
I'll move to approve Class B beer license for Kurth Brewery.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. We'll move on to Class B beer and liquor. The first is Badger Motor Car Company. There was a memo in the packet outlining some concerns with the Wisconsin Department of Safety and Professional Services. Attorney Johnson has explained that this is a matter between the property owner and the DSPS, and that we should just treat this license as any other. So, any questions on that? If there are no questions, I'll entertain action for the first Class B beer and liquor for Badger Motor Car Company.
Motion to approve Class B beer and liquor, Badger Motor Car Company, liquor license.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the Class B beer and liquor for Badger Motor Car Company. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. On to Capital Columbus Restaurant, doing business as Fast Lanes Restaurant and Pub, another Class B beer and liquor. This is a renewal. Any questions on this one? If not, I'll entertain any action from the council.
Move to approve a Class B beer and liquor license for Fast Lanes Restaurant and Pub.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? License is approved. Then on to the Columbus Country Club. Another renewal. All requirements have been met. Any discussion on that or questions? If not, I'll entertain any action from the council.
Make a motion to approve the Class B beer and liquor license for Columbus Country Club.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve Class B beer and liquor for the Columbus Country Club. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? License is approved. Next up is the Columbus Family Restaurant. Another renewal. Everything's been met. Any questions? If not, I'll entertain any action from the council.
I'll make a motion to approve the license renewal for Columbus Family Restaurant.
Second.
Motion a second to approve Class B beer and liquor for the Columbus Family Restaurant. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up is Dub's Brew, Cersei's Brewing Company. Another renewal. Violations were corrected for the inspection. There's nothing existing. We do have the temporary encroachment on the city right-of-way along with this too. Any questions from the council? Ed?
I believe there was a question last time whether the encroachment was going to be lined up with, date-wise with the license. Has that happened? Am I accurate in stating that?
Yeah, I don't believe that's changed, so we're not approving the encroachment, or we're not approving the encroachment this evening, correct?
All right.
No, the application from last year has the encroachment going through September 30 of 2019. When it rolls around next year, then I think we can line it up.
Okay, great.
But for this year, I think it's already in place.
Yeah.
Just knew it was a question, so. With that, I'll make a motion to approve the Class B beer and liquor license for Cersei's Brewing Company.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Cersei's Brewing Company has been approved for Class B beer and liquor. Thank you. The next one is Jamesco Incorporated, doing business as the Cardinal Cage. Another renewal. Reinspection was done, no violations, so everything should be completed on that one. If there are no questions, I'll entertain any action from the council for the Cardinal Cage Class B beer and liquor.
Make a motion to approve Class B beer and liquor for the Cardinal Cage.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up is MP's Town Tap. Another renewal. do see we have main level on there instead of upstairs. That was my only concern. All right. Unless there's any questions, I'll entertain any action from the council for MP's Town Tap Class B beer and liquor.
I'll make a motion to approve Class B beer and liquor license for MP's Town Tap.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? License approved. Up next is Kestrel Golf Properties LLC, doing business as Kestrel Ridge Golf Club. Any questions on this from the council? If there are no questions, I'll entertain any action from the council for the Class B beer and liquor for Kestrel Ridge Golf Club.
Make a motion to approve the renewal of the liquor license for Kestrel Golf Properties LLC for Class B beer and liquor.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And one more, Class B beer and liquor for Sue's Overtime Tap LLC, doing business as Sue's Overtime Tap. No issues on this one. Unless there's any questions, I'll entertain any action from the council for Sue's Overtime Tap.
I'll make a motion that we approve a Class B beer and liquor license for Sue's Overtime Tap.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? License is approved for Sue's Overtime Tap for Class B beer and liquor. We have one Class B beer and liquor reserve for the Columbus West Travel Center LLC, doing business as Columbus West Travel Center. This is a renewal. Any questions on this one from the council? If none, I'll entertain any motion from the council.
I'll make a motion that we approve a Class B beer and liquor reserve license for Columbus West Travel Center.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the Class B beer and liquor reserve for Columbus West Travel Center. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, Clerk Gable, for all of your work. Thanks for starting it early this year, and I know it's a lot of work, so thank you. All right, on to number 5. Take action on Plan Commission's recommendation to approve a CSM for the Country Air condos. This was at the Plan Commission. Matt Schreiber's here.
As you guys may recall, at the May 21st meeting, you approved a conditional use permit for 0 lot line dwellings for these properties. They went through the conditional use process so they could divide the lots. So what you have in front of you is the CSMs to actually go through and divide the 6 lots that are there into 12 lots. So each owner will have a side-by-side, and they'll be individual lots rather than the way they are now with, as I said, 6 lots with two owners for each lot. They're going through the process of dissolving the condo. So this is one of the last steps, and that's pretty much all there is for this project. Any questions?
Any questions for Matt while he's up here? No, thanks, Matt. I know the Plan Commission meeting lasted about 7 minutes, so I don't think this is going to be very contentious. If there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion from the council to act on the recommendation of the Plan Commission.
Make a motion to act on the recommendation from the Plan Commission to approve the CSM for Country Air condos.
Second.
We have a motion in 2 seconds to approve a CSM for the Country Air condos. Any discussion on that motion? If none, can we do voice vote on that? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Let's see. Number 6, consider and take action on change the July 2nd council meeting to July 9th and the July 16th council meeting to July 23rd. We discussed this at the committee of the whole meeting a couple weeks ago. Sounded like these dates were probably going to work out for most. Any discussion on this? If there's no discussion, then I would need a motion to change those dates at this meeting.
I'll make a motion to change the July 2nd council date to July 9th and the July 16th council meeting date to July 23rd.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the July council meetings for July 9th and for July 23rd. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Number 7, consider and take action on a mayoral appointment of Ashley Schwarr to the Recreation Advisory Committee. Ashley was appointed, I believe, this winter to serve out the last couple of months on a vacant seat, so this is just a reappointment for her next term. Unless there's any questions, I'll entertain any action from the council.
I'll make a motion to accept the mayoral appointment of Ashley Schwarr to the Rec Advisory Committee.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to appoint Ashley Schwarr to the Recreation Advisory Committee. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Number 8, consider and take action on mayoral appointment of Laura Johansson to the CAAC Advisory Board. This was an online application I received, and there is a vacancy on the CAAC Advisory Board. Any questions on that one? If none, I'll entertain any action from the council on the mayoral appointment of Laura Johansson.
I'll move to approve the mayoral appointment of Laura Johansson to the CAAC Advisory Board.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the appointment to the CAAC. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Number 9, consider and take action on mayoral appointment of Teresa Sumnick to the Police and Fire Commission. There is a partial term of vacancy on the Police and Fire Commission. This was another online application I received. Any questions on that one? If none, I'll entertain any action from the council on that mayoral appointment for the PFC.
I'll move that we approve Teresa Sumnick as the mayoral appointment to the Police and Fire Commission.
Motion and a second to appoint Teresa Sumnick to the Police and Fire Commission. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Number 10, consider and take action on applications for operators licenses for July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 21. We have a list in our packet, which is a public packet and was published and is available. I'm not going to read all the names because there's 66 of them. It starts with Heather A. Ballwig and ends with Sarah K. Zittel. Are there any questions on this?
I just have one for operators licenses, and I'm sorry, I'm from Iowa. They had to be 21 before they could be an operator. Is that, what is it in Wisconsin, 18? Okay, just because I know a lot of these kids, and I'm like, oh, they're not 21, so just wanted to make sure.
Good question. All right, unless there's any further questions, I'll take any action from the council to approve the applications for the operators licenses.
Make a motion to approve the operator licenses for July 1st of 19 through June 30th of 2021.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the list of operators licenses for the terms of July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2021. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. On to city claims. Let's see. Claims in the amount of $867,247.59. Any questions on the claims? If there are no questions on the claims, I'll entertain any action from the council.
Make a motion to approve the monthly claims through June 18th of 2019.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the city claims as listed in the packet. Any discussion on that? If none, can we please take a roll call, Pat?
Ryan,
Aye.
Tylen,
Aye.
Traxler,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reed. Unanimous.
Thank you. On to report of city officers. I'll turn it over to you, Patrick.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. As Matt was talking and making, expressing thanks to the folks that came together on the downtown beautification project, I thought I would say thank you to Matt for his efforts. He was a big part of it, and he wasn't going to thank himself. So thank you, Matt, for your hard work. Wanted to report, last Wednesday was the first official court session of the City of Columbus Municipal Court. I think all went well. And as we get going, things will kind of get a little bit more familiar for everyone involved. So was at Portage a week ago tonight to participate in a forum on county economic development. I've mentioned that the County Economic Development Corporation, which was the group that handled economic development for Columbia County, has been taking a look at a transformation of their mission and how they operate. And so that was a public forum. We talked about different demographics in terms of economic development and things in the county, and starting the conversation about where that's going to lead. So it was worthwhile to be there and to have a city presence there. And just finally, there's going to be some stepped up efforts by DPW and other city staff to get ready for July 4th next week, all the events that go along with that. And I think they'll be doing a lot of that in the heat. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Patrick. I've been busy. I didn't have time to prepare anything. Obviously, before our next meeting, we'll have our Independence Day celebration in the city of Columbus, which is our biggest week here, I guess. Draws a lot of people to the community. So I hope everyone has a great holiday. Have a fun time. That's all I've had. Did anyone have anything to share up here?
I do.
All right, Andy.
So last night, I've had my first Columbus Area Aquatic Center Advisory Board meeting, and I just wanted to thank Kane for giving me the official tour of the inside and how the pool works. I had never seen that before, and I can tell you it is way more than you think. It's the machinery in that building and the pipes. It's pretty overwhelming. So thanks, Kane, for that, and it was a good meeting.
Thanks, Andy. I did want to thank you, Andy, too. You filled in for me chairing the CDA meeting last week. Have been busy, so I appreciate you helping out as well. So unless there's anything else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned for a few minutes and return with the committee of the whole meeting. Thank you.